Chapter 4 continued. My thoughts drifted into a vague, disoriented realm, leading me to believe I was wandering through a world of pure disillusionment. Wasn't sure what was happening, but a heavy sense of deja vu settled over me. Felt like I've been here before. In this dream, I stood hidden behind a thick trunk of a pine tree, watching a house in the woods. Inside, a man sat comfortably in a recliner in front of a flickering television set. The cabin windows cast a translucent golden hue. Inside, a dark forest. Through the glass, I could clearly see light oak flooring that perfectly complemented the rustic interior design. The entire room was covered in pelts, wolf pelts. Menacing taxidermy wolf statues stood guard near the fireplace. Severed wolf heads hung delicately above the mantel, flanked on both sides by thick hanging wolf tails. I inched closer to the glass to get a better look into the luminescent window, but I was suddenly taken off guard by the deafening blast of a car horn. I gasped, freezing as a man in the recliner snapped his head around, piercing his beautiful yet terrifying red eyes directly at me. I turned around, trying to duck out of the way, only to see the hollow shell of my navy blue Mustang tearing through the forest towards me. It's ushering me to get out of the way, flashing its high beams and blaring its horn in a rhythmic panic. I watched in sheer horror as the driverless car bypassed me entirely, crashing violently into the side of the cabin. The impact sent a red-eyed man into visual, demonic rage. Through the shattered walls, I watched him leap from the chair, throwing objects in fury, the ruined house instantly ignited into a raging inferno. The heat was so intense, so real that I turned and ran for my life, but the Mustang's blaring horn echoed through the trees, tracking me down, following me no matter which way I ran. The nightmare abruptly shattered, ending by a sharp, shooting pain in my neck. My muscles had cramped up severely from sleeping awkwardly against my shoulder. I groaned painfully, softly massaging my aching neck as I reached for the ignition. Turning the key, the dashboard lit up and my heart violently skipped a beat when my eyes landed on the clock. It was nearly 6 o'clock in the evening. I had left Aunt Flora's house at 2. I'd been sitting on the shoulder of this deserted road blacked out for 4 hours. My mind went entirely numb as I pulled the Mustang back onto the road, driving down a silent, eroded strip of concrete. Patches of thick tar were drizzled lazily among the hazardous deep potholes, looking as if the road workers had been too lazy to finish the job. I rolled to a stop sign, craning my neck to the left and wincing in pain as I checked for oncoming traffic. Once the coast was clear, I pulled out, following a beat-up minivan that had distinct silhouettes of 2 children fighting in the back seat. The taillights faded into crimson blur. I trailed them to the next stoplight, switched on my right turn signal, and pulled into a parking lot of a small strip mall. I parked near the entrance and headed into the grocery store, walking down the bakery aisle with a vacant, lazy stare. I looked at the cakes. Honestly, my brain was so fried I had completely forgotten what the cake was even for. Regardless, I picked up an extravagant double chocolate cake with rich brownie bits embedded right into the crust. Luckily, it was on sale, so I didn't have to pay so much. I placed the plastic container on the counter and handed the cashier the money. She, in return, handed me my change and a receipt. As I walked back to the car, I couldn't think about anything except the wild wolf encounter. I gently brushed my left hand over the top of my right. I could still feel the phantom sensation of the black wolf's cold nose and coarse, warm texture of her tongue licking gently over my skin in pure gratitude. I smiled faintly, carefully placing the cake in the back seat before closing the door. Sliding into the driver's seat, I turned on the ignition and started drive back to Aunt Flora's house. This time deliberately leaving the GPS off. I needed time to think. More importantly, I needed answers. Why the hell were my dreams suddenly becoming reality?